I don't want to miss out. It's a best of 5. We're changing it up now for the grand finals. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2v2 for North America. Spotty here in the top right side of the map. We have our returning champions, the Red Zerg,
Knight, and his ally, the Yellow Protoss, Nug.
Sometimes I just forget to turn it off and I can't stop. To the bottom left, some newcomers to the arena. They've blasted through the brackets. They've taken down Koreans. They've taken down 2v2 players. Now in the finals, we have the challengers, the Purple Terran,
Blademaster,
and his ally, the Blue Protoss,
Infinty.
Okay, I'll be honest, that's pretty cool for the intros. I actually kind of like it a lot. Nug and Knight are very, very, very experienced players. We know this well. But the thing is, PracticeX is a player who's had a past specializing in 2v2s. Then we had Golden and two top tier Koreans. The fact that these guys to the bottom beat them all gives me a lot of hope and confidence for the finals. But just to be perfectly clear, in terms of the playoffs, Nug and Knight have already qualified to the first North American tournament. They really want to just keep playing for fun though, because I guess there's not a big 2v2 tournament scene, and pick up a couple of bucks along the way. I said fine, no problem. So Nug and Knight are essentially playing for the house in this game, because if Nug and Knight win, it opens up a slot for me to freely invite whomever I would like to the playoffs in their place. Now, high candidates would be Blademaster and Infinty. I don't know these players very well. Maybe they'll have difficult schedules that don't align with the playoffs, so we can't invite them. Maybe they can't play, and we'll pick somebody else. Or maybe I just like someone else better. It really doesn't matter because it's going to be my choice. That's only if Knight and Nug win. However, if Blademaster and Infinty pull off a victory in the finals, then they will secure an invite spot to the playoffs. So just to let you guys know, that's a small change up from how we would normally do things, but far be it from me to want to squash competition here. And I feel like with 2v2s, there is a little bit more liberty to play around with stuff like that because it is such a diverse pool of people playing. And it's not like 1v1 Starcraft where you have a set amount of like the best players who have their MMRs and their ESL points to back them up. 2v2, to me at least, is like the Wild West. So now that all the terms, I guess, are on the table, everyone knows what's at stake. There's a lot more on the line for Blademaster and Infinty because, of course, they want to secure that spot for the playoffs. And if you guys are unaware, one last recap here. We have over $700 raised. Like, the match rate has blown the fuck out for this 2v2 tournament. We have over $700 set aside for the grand finals, and we're giving out over $360, something like that, for all these qualifier playoffs, as we're paying out $10 to each of the top 8 teams for every one of these cups. So a lot of prize money going out for these 2v2. Hopefully helps support the scene a little bit. I got to give a big shout out to Beastyqt community and TJ Jackson and others for helping set a lot of this up. And I hope that we can do more in the future, but I will just say very plainly, we don't have huge plans to. This month is the month of 2v2s, and as far as I'm concerned, after this, I go back to 1v1s. But if the hype and the crowd wants it, we can definitely make it happen again. So, be involved, be here for the playoffs, contribute dollars to the prize pool, whatever you want to do to support these players. Now, the Oracle comes in with a couple of zippy zaps. Okay, absolutely unnecessary hype for what's happening right now, but I'll take it. As the aggression continues for Knight and Nug, they don't really have a lot of pushback. Theoretically, these Stalkers beat out the Oracle, so all they have to do is basically beat the Reapers to win. The bunker is not done yet. Looks like a Warp Prism is going to shuttle some of these guys up here. Oh, that's kind of clever. But these are 4 units versus a significant amount of Reapers. So, well, the Warp Prism's in no real danger. These units don't have really any staying power at all. But Reapers are very fragile units, not meant to brute force fight like this. I love the pickup of the Stalker to save it for the grenade. That's funny to see. Depots are still up, though. There's no way to get up here and support. All blue can do is fight against red and vice versa. Nug and Knight are going to withdraw from this fight. I guess kind of give things up for now, and that's fine. What about a 2v2v2v2v2 Beast of the Hill? That sounds like a fun viewer night. That doesn't sound like a tournament I would put prize money into, I'm being honest. What was that grenade? That was some like bullshit Star Wars Luke firing a torpedo then curving it into the Death Star type of bullshit right there. I don't know what that was. There are some pretty fun free-for-alls that go on, by the way. I know Crank's been hosting some. Drickit hosts a lot of NA free-for-all battles. If you guys are interested in free-for-alls, there's tons of them that go on, but not always stuff we put super on the front line here. Anyways, Lings and Stalkers continue to poke forward. Ugh. Luke curved it up with force. No, Luke pulled some bullshit is what he did. Okay, nice target there on the Oracle. This is going to be a withdraw. I like this though, because Knight's the one who's ultimately kind of giving away units away. But the thing is, Knight actually has the worker count to support replacing these units. And also these units are pretty fast and expendable to replace. So as long as Nug keeps escaping with a lot of his units, and I mean, if you look at the resources lost, it's pretty clear he's getting away with a lot of his units. Then I don't think this actually becomes a problem for the top team. But there is a counterattack coming that they're going to have to defend. And this many Reapers, I want to remind you, we already saw this out of Blademaster in Infinity. And it doesn't look very good, and it always looks a little sloppy, but then it kind of worked in the games they had. So I'm not going to count it out. But all things considered, this looks, just look at this army. I took most of the overlay away. Just see a look at how silly it looks. Oh, Guardian Shield is huge here. Shutting down a lot of this damage, protecting that Void Ray longer than it should. Reaper damage is also going to get super nullified here by that Guardian Shield. So they target the Sentry first. Unfortunately, though, Knight's looking to be out of steam. Nug can't 2v1 this when there's Immortals in play. If this was just Adepts and Reapers, maybe he could, but Blake's not going to be strong enough to outplay all of this, and those Immortals are going to hammer away anytime they get a shot off. These Stalkers are going to feel the burn. Probes are pulled away from the mix, falling back to the Spine Crawler, trying to use every trick possible to help with this situation, with that Warp Prism out of Infinity doing a lot of sick micro. And again, the messy Reapers. It looks like such a sloppy maneuver, but it works. Reminder, Blademaster's also got like 43 SCVs behind this to like he can actually support a follow-up. Let's say this gets cleaned up. It doesn't seem likely, but let's say it does. He can transition out of this into proper bio, no problem. I do like this though, the Stalkers picking and choosing the battles, avoiding blue at almost all costs. He will finally get that Warp Prism. Okay, no more sick micro, no more reinforcements. Knight is probably screwed though. I don't know how he possibly holds on to this. The +1 melee looks great. Blake's looking fantastic over here. Oh my god, Blake like a god. It is the unknown parting's long lost brother. This Blake micro was actually really good. But while this went on, Knight was annihilated. GG's get called. And an excellently aggressive battle from the bottom team wins them game number 1. Oh. Nug refuses to go down without a fight. You know what's wild? He's going to tap out. They almost clean that up towards the end. If by some miracle Knight had managed to keep his workers alive, that would have been playable. But folks, I hear that clapping. I know you want to hype up these intros with me. So I'll give you a sec because that stream delay to get those Pog champs in the chat as we are in game number 5. A very unlikely outcome to the first match is having these new challengers be up 1-0 against the previous champions. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for
Infinity
and his ally,
Blademaster.
Yeah. To the top left, their opponents, the returning champions. It's the Red Zerg,
Knights.
and his ally,
CrucialNug.
Okay, so last game got a little bit crazy and out of hand, and I hope every single one of these games do. Infinity and Blademaster, we learned recently, are actually European players who came out to play in the what they thought was probably easy mode NA brackets until they ran into these two randos who are actually apparently freaking amazing. But even then, they're still up 1-0 over their opponents. So Blademaster and Infinity are in a pretty good spot right now. I don't know if we're gonna see Mass Reapers again. Yes, we are actually. I was like, wait a minute, where are the extra barracks? I was looking at the mini map, I didn't realize they're back here. So more of the same with this really aggressive Reaper opening. You know, I don't have a problem with this. I think lots of Reapers actually make a lot of sense in 2v2s because usually the problem is if Reapers don't work, you're left with a big opening for the counterattack. But yeah, 2v2s, your ally can actually cover that gap a little bit. So you get a lot of aggression and these can get a little wild. But even then, even that last game where they were executed pretty well, Reapers in general are just sloppy. It's not the player. right? It's not like, oh man, Blademaster's a sloppy player. You're gonna handle this Reaper so much better. Oh, but it's just the Reaper unit design in general. It's kind of a slop unit. It's not meant to survive for very long. It's not meant to be a big fighter. So you watch so many of them bleed off, and you keep in mind the whole time, like, Blademaster sacrifices his tech and his economy to do this. He's not rushing out a second CC very quickly. He's eventually, in the games we've witnessed so far, getting to stim, but even then he doesn't have like a great setup for a mass marine transition. So it's kind of like a plan B with these sloppy Reapers. And hey, if the early game goes well enough, then cool, 2 thumbs up. And so far it's gotten them to the finals. I'm absolutely not knocking it. I'm not criticizing it. It is just so wild to me that this is a thing that works, because I guess Reaper play is in all other situations usually shut down pretty well. Damn you, Rifkin, for getting me into Stream Raiders. I know it's addicting. It's so cute. I can't stop playing it myself. I've found myself often, some of you know this too, I'm not streaming and I can't sleep. I pop up with Stream Raiders and we do like 1 or 2 battles at like 3 a.m. with like 10 people. The small scale battles are really tough. They're also really fun. And I can't stop playing this damn game. I have a problem. But I'll be honest, Stream Raiders is so sick. With the skinathon we did this week, yo, y'all bought enough skins I could pay for rent with it. So I love everything about it, man. It's a great little game. Really nice zoning here, by the way. Using the grenades to keep the Zerglings back when they fire at the hatchery. This is pretty close to killing the hatchery. In fact, it's one of those things where even if the hatchery survives now, it might not later, just because it's going to be so low that a follow-up counterattack might knock it down. Star Chest is not as addicting. You know, Star Chest was, but they haven't like updated Star Chest, and Thorn is broken as fuck, so Star Chest kind of sucks. Maybe they've changed it recently, I don't know, but like that's why I stopped playing it at least. Playing with friends is still fun though, no question about it. Okay, the Reapers get caught. That's high ground grass. So for those who don't understand the interaction real quick, that denies vision on the other side unless you have high ground vision, like an air unit. So he walked into the Zerglings and it looked really silly, but he didn't see them. Still, though, handles this pretty well. Queen desperately throws the transfuse into the hatchery before dying. As the Phoenix comes start picking up the Reapers, we will see Blademaster disengage. Is it Phoenix versus Phoenix? Because Phoenix versus Phoenix is the only fight in the game that's worse than Muta versus Muta. Looks like that's not actually gonna be the case. Okay. A couple decent shots. Turn it back away. Goes to pick off the Queen. I mean, this is an easy Queen kill. Shut down her. You shut down tumors and what have you. But ooh, diving in a little bit deep. Mineralize might be his best bet for a chance to escape. You see grenades making everybody dance, but these Reapers are getting caught. These Reapers are dying. Blademaster never knocking down his base, committed so much for this. And on the other side of it, looks like these run-bys through Zealots aren't accomplishing that much either. It feels like the bottom team used up all their steam in game 1, and I don't know what game 2 is supposed to be for them. The Max Phoenix play out of CrucialNug is very expected. We actually saw some really cool counterplay around this through Demaga and Braddock. A combination of mass corruptors and EMPs. Well, maybe corruptors won't be so readily available. EMPs could be really good. What EMPs do, of course, is remove shields, but also the energy, right? So they can't lift anything up. Oh my god, he gets it! After so much, like, attempts, he finally gets the hatchery and knocks it down. Alright, that's pretty legit. These Zealots continue to be a nuisance, but Nug seems to have this on lockdown for the most part. Knight with his own Zerglings to reinforce. It's 3 bases to 2, but not really that big dynamic of a difference. Worker count's relatively the same across the board. Nobody is really running away with this game, except the top team, which has a much better army supply because Blademaster dedicated so much and got a hatchery out of it, which was good, but not great. Well, missile turrets in the mineral lines will certainly help a bro out and deter how long these Phoenix can stay here for, but they can still massacre workers. Stand with the Zerglings to get a massive run by here on the right side. Remember, Blademaster's already a pretty weird spot. 40 workers is good, but he's got to carry Infinity's economy too. Infinity's on 28 workers after this run by. Infinity, of course, doesn't have units at home because they're across the map. They're actually going to catch these roaches out in the open. Very unfortunate for Knight. But there's plenty of time for CrucialNug to get back home and lift them all up if he needs to. Phoenix are pretty dang quick like that. Zealots are so durable. It's taking a long time to clean up. It does look like, though, for the most part, not crazy workers were killed here. In fact, both players on the top managed to pull most of them away. Warp Prism's dealt with. 19 probes down for yellow, but he's still up more than everyone else in the game. So, you know, that's pretty good. Of course, all of this aggression out of Infinity may not have super well paid off, but it did get the top team off of their front gates for a bit, giving them some breathing room. Most importantly, giving the teammate Blademaster time to recover. So now he's got a pretty solid army that does have Marines with +1. We've got Stim Pack too. Phoenix flying above them was a huge mistake. Throw a couple banelings in the mix and maybe we talk about taking on his Marines. Roaches alone are going to struggle. This many Phoenix as well can't just reliably fly over things anymore to pick them off. Not with that many Marines threatening them. Blademaster has a surprising amount of power in this game right now. He's bringing a gun to an everything fight. The Gauss rifle in this situation will be pretty good. A little bit of overstim, sure, but there's no banelings waiting for him. Oh, takes out some of the Zealots, not all the Zealots. Hope to cut these back into another stasis trap. Okay, now it's just the Marines. Front lines get picked up here. Let's not forget those medevacs are going to be picked off too. If the Marines don't win this fight, there's no falling back from this. There's no picking up or running away from Phoenix. So, while a lot of the Roaches do die, the Phoenix do their job to take care of the medevacs, to clean up most of the ground forces. I think Nug is completely out of juice, which is a little unfortunate, but with the Oracles and the remaining Roaches, this should still be very holdable in my opinion. Coming out of this, our top team is so good economically. 55 workers and 49. To Infinity's 38 and Blademaster's 37. Look, a third CC is on the way, and they're not giving up, but give this game 3 more minutes, and it's going to be overwhelmingly ahead for our top team. I do applaud the effort of Infinity. You guys want to take a guess how many Zealots have died this game? I'm going to say 50. I'm going to say, no, that's too high. I'm going to say 40. I'm going to say 40 something Zealots have died this game. What are your guys' guesses? We'll take a look here now that they've been killed up. In 3, 2, 1. 74. Whoa, I was fucking way off. Lowballing it. Hell of a lot of Zealots have died in the making of this game. More Zealots too. Infinity's sticking with his real basic tech. I guess he's not really mining gas, so it's all he really can do. I don't love it, but it's better than doing nothing. This push out of the Terran does come in here with 73 army supply, and that is pretty dang impressive. But when there's 48 Marines and 21 Phoenix, we will lift up most of the Marines in this battle. Colossus helps too. Caluce on the loose. And that's going to be it. GG. CrucialNug and Knight tie up the series 1-1. Okay, guys. We are loading into game 3. If you're just joining us on the broadcast, things are tied up now 1-1. Let's jump into it. All right. All right. Crack my neck here real quick and give y'all a chance to get in there with the hype if you want. If you don't, that's fine. But either way, it is game 3 in this best of 5. The score's tied 1-1. Spawning here on the bottom left side of the map. We have the blue Terran. He is
Blademaster.
And his ally is
Infinity.
Oh, there's a little bit of it. The top right. We have the purple Protoss. Ladies and gentlemen, can we make some noise, please? For the purple
CrucialNug and his ally.
Whoops. Hey, fucking voice thing. His ally sitting next to him, sitting pretty.
It is Knights.
Once again, we see that cool 2v2 tactic where you help out your Zerg bro, build the assimilator. Then if you share unit control, they can mine off of it. It's like the golf club. Oh yes, they shared unit control. Very well, well played. But yeah, CrucialNug is gonna have that going for him. Thanks to, or excuse me, Knight's gonna have that thanks to CrucialNug. I liked what I saw last game though, out of the top team. It was more of what I expected. I don't think game one was like a cheesy win. Oh my god, you can never pull this off again. But defending Reapers is difficult, dude. It's like if you've ever played a 1v1 or a team game, you know defending Reapers can sometimes be some of the most aggravating and difficult shit to pull off. So whether it's clean, whether it's dirty, they held it off. But now we're changing things up quite a bit, actually. Infinity gets a good scout on the main, a quick peek in, sees nothing looks too amiss yet. You know, the second pylon is here and all, but really we have a proxy Stargate, I believe, on the way. Infinity keeping an eyeball on this, seeing if he can confirm what CrucialNug's up to. I don't know if CrucialNug cares though. This proxy Stargate, I find nowadays is rarely about like the timing or the element of surprise, and more just like hoping your opponent's not paying attention, which might just be the case. Either way, between Nug and Knight, this pro finally gets cleaned up. Pylon on the back, blocking the base, minorly annoying. Nug's base? Nug's base. All right, we have double Stargate play coming out of our bottom team Protoss. With Infinity doing this, with keeping in mind Phoenix being powerful as they are, he should be able to eventually deal with Nug, but Nug's going to get in here real quick, and frankly, SCV is going to be super susceptible. I didn't realize that Blademaster put his command center up on the high ground, by the way. I love that, though. At least he's got the second base down. But yeah, having gone for a quick tech lab, he's probably thinking about getting either Blue Flame or adding Cyclones to the mix. With two factories this quick, though, kind of smells like Blue Flame. And if he's going to blitz with a ton of Hellions, ooh, that could be deadly. Okay, it's Magfield Accelerator. Okay, so Oracle's armored units, they'll take the bonus damage from that, but the key thing is it takes 3 shots to kill a worker, not 2. So the Oracles will get in here and it will be a little bit difficult to get on this. Not knowing which side the Terran was on, it does look like Nug wanted to be hitting the Protoss. Pings on the Oracles, and he's going to head around the outskirts of the map. There you go. Unfortunately, though, this time delay will be very unfavorable because by the time he hits, there should be 4 Phoenix out. Not to mention the Cyclone. So Zergling is trying to distract at the front. This is all making him look elsewhere. And those Oracles do hit the base. A little bit of awkward stutter step, though. Actually, I'm going to say some kind of bad stutter step. Recalls the Oracles out. It's a clever move. Good way to keep them alive. They wouldn't outrun things otherwise. Team content, yeah. Yeah, we got more team content, too. We got one more 2v2 tournament happening on Friday. And then the playoffs will happen on the following weekend. If you guys want to... I'm not saying you have to, but consider maybe following the channel so you don't miss out on more of that. We're really 2v2 focused this month, but we have other things going on too. As I mentioned, tomorrow morning, which is almost exactly 12 hours from now, we're going to be having the Raynor Holdout Challenge live, where we're going to ask you, the viewers, to try and see how long you can survive against Raynor. That's right. I'm talking about like top tier Zerg. He's going to fuck you up. We know you're going to die, but the question is, how long can you last? There's a lot of interesting strategies. You know, lift the command center seems like a good idea until people are like by default. Like Neeb started just like going Stargates, anticipating stuff like that when we did it with him. I'm really curious what Raynor will bring to the party. I'm very excited to see how that goes, though. Either way, lift up command centers, build 100 bunkers, proxy pylons all over the map. Just make them take as long as possible to kill you. Because the idea is that tomorrow you're not playing to beat Raynor. You're playing to beat the time of every other player who plays against Raynor. So again, that'll be happening tomorrow, bright and early. Are YouTube uploads still happening? Work blocked Twitch. Well, then how are you watching right now to ask, sir? Oh, probably because you're not at work. Duh. I'm so stupid. Yes, YouTube. Yeah, we've had a new video like every day this week on YouTube. The first 2v2 tournament from the European Cup's already been fully uploaded. You check those out. Exclamation mark YouTube in the chat if you need that link, guys. Phoenix gonna pick up a lot of these stalkers. Infinity actually doing a ton of damage right now to CrucialNug. I mean, there's nothing Nug can really do. If he runs away, he doesn't end up being in a better spot for this. Link's running on top of the Hellions. Blue Flame is seconds from finishing. A bit of an anti-timing here, but still might do well without it. God, Zerglings and Hellions are loud. Well, that's a really good shutdown. How many workers I killed? I killed 13 and 12. Well, I guess 12 probes died to the retaliation on the other side of the field too. Those oracles and what have you earlier. So I guess that kind of helps cancel things out a bit. Our top team's definitely having a lot more trouble. Even with blink out for the stalkers, catching these Phoenix is a lot easier said than done. Stalkers do not get their bonus damage versus Phoenix. Interesting choice on Banelings. I do like the infestation pick quite a bit, actually. It looks like this proxy's been figured out. Oh, he was trying to warp in a DT before it died, though. That's clever. Wait a minute. Because that would have been the first DT in this game. And they didn't see it just now, but okay, missile turrets are coming down. Okay, so he's just going to play safe. I mean, it makes sense. Right side, the Phoenix come back in for round 2. Now look, I don't think a fungal growth is a hard counter, and I don't think an EMP is an automatic shutdown, but either way, spellcasters with area of effect damage will be the best way to punish players to go for units like Phoenix that notoriously stack up really tight. Either way, all these anti-air units are going to have to be kept alive because there's a carrier follow-up to this too. Hydra's on the front line, not what you want to see versus Hellions. Stalkers also versus Cyclones, not an engagement you want to see. Nug and Knight in a lot of trouble right now. Blademaster and Infinity really put the screws to them here with these Phoenix. The Cyclones are a big damage, but no, wait, why is he idling with the Phoenix? What just happened there? What was Infinity looking at? They just went from having like super good control to him just like AFKing and losing like 7 Phoenix? What the f just happened there for Infinity? Now, granted, he probably looked away to do something. I get that, but what on earth? Was he setting up a Nexus? What was worth losing 7 or 8 Phoenix over? I can't imagine anything. Look, I'm not going to knock it too much, though. Bottom team's in a really good spot right now. Top team's hurting an army supply. Maybe keeping a bunch of Hydralisks and Stalkers up is a way to deal with what's next, but just to be clear, nobody actually knows what's coming up next. There hasn't been any scouting in a fairly significant amount of time. Hey, Mark, thank you for the 28 months. He screams, all caps, carriers are the best unit! My name's Mark! I'm a dad and responsible adult, but I make carriers like an idiot. that's you. That's what you sound like, dude. All right, you come here with your cruise control, caps lock on. You think you're so cool? Shut the f up. If I could ban staff members, I swear to God, guys. You know what happens? Has anyone ever seen this? You ever try to ban a staff member on Twitch? Let me show you. You can't. You literally can't. Twitch is like, we know you want to, but you can't. Son of a bitch. You cannot ban staff member Mark Sakara. Please email support@twitch.tv if a staff member is being abusive. You know what? I should. I ought to send an email in saying, yeah, this guy keeps going mass carriers, and just see what happens. The other people on Twitch and the PR, they're like tearing. They're like, yeah, you know what? Fuck Protoss. Fuck carriers. Mark, we need to talk to you in the PR department right now. HR needs to have a word with you. And then this is where I make a joke like, context matters. Oh my God, I actually one sec. I started laughing so hard at my own dumbass joke, I started choking. Holy fuck, guys, I'm sorry, it was a joke. Whatever ghosts are out there haunting me, I'm sorry, it was a joke. Jesus Christ. Okay, odd sensor tower to Blademaster, but you know what? It sees. If you haven't seen what a sensor tower looks like, you can't tell what the units are, but you know something's over there. So this is a really good way to get an idea of what's going on without burning 100 scans. Ooh, this blink though. I mean, the Cyclone's gonna do massive damage, but that 4-second period they're on cooldown, that's where Stalkers can really get ahead. But choosing not to overcommit, I gotta give respect up for this top team though, guys. Their macros have been doing pretty well. They continue to expand, but remember, they were down quite a bit, both in workers and in army compared to their opponents. No, it doesn't even feel like that long ago. It was like literally 3 minutes ago. But here we are in the late game. We got about, how many Vipers? 7 Vipers is huge. 7 Vipers isn't going to affect these ground units that much, but it's certainly going to yoink that mothership. What are we, in a Wardy's channel? Give me 300 points. Yoink. Mothership's the first thing to go down. No parasitic bombs, some blinding clouds instead. Abducts a couple of the carriers into the mass stalker fire. That paired up here with the Hydras has no problem getting 1 kill. It doesn't get 2, sadly. Blademaster, though, definitely has the most supply in the game. Looks like there's some attempt at the back. Ooh, some back harass. DTs get in. Oh, the scan. I don't know what that first scan was. The first scan was awkward is what it was. These DTs don't really have anywhere to go. But yo, this is without a doubt the best match 2v2 tournament we've seen out of all 3 tournaments so far. We're coming up at the 12-minute mark, and like almost every single base on the map's been taken. Map control's going back and forth. These fights are going back and forth. Nobody's making huge crazy mistakes. Well, that might be. He just blinked into 3 tanks. I don't know how to feel about that. I know that the Stalkers of the front line didn't feel no good. I'll tell you that much. Well, we got another mothership on the way. So, you know, somewhere out there, Roddy is minus 400, 400ing. He's like, you know, he's asleep right now, but in his sleep, he's like, minus 400, 400. Minus 400, 400. And that's just like the meme. That's how Roddy's just stuck on that one meme, dude. Okay, this is missing a key point. They're not targeting the Templar archives, and it's pretty clear that it's researching. I understand the fight that they want to take, but denying storms here would be pretty freaking massive. A missed opportunity for sure. So this attack does some pretty nice trade outs, but still, the bottom team prevails pretty nicely through this. I guess I hadn't considered Zerg being quite terrifying to deal with here. I mean, this is awkward. There's so many siege tanks. There's not enough line class to cover all the siege tanks. This ends up just being a bad engagement, but the mass Corruptor style versus carriers, Corruptors are made to win. Even if Blademaster gets in there with some Thors on the bottom and some Storms on the top, unless these Corruptors are fighting directly over like Archons, oh man, those Corruptors are gonna be very, very difficult to deal with. Cloaking actually hides the buildings from the DTs. That's funny. It's actually gonna be the worst but best way to save things. There is a missile turret, but he's gonna focus that down, I would imagine. Nope, goes straight for the SCVs. Okay, while this harassment's going on, we do have the actual push out of Infinity and Blademaster. This carrier army is stacked. I mean, like, we are talking thick, baby. 14 carriers and 7 storms. There's something like 30-odd Corruptors coming in, though. Blinding clouds on the ground. Storms on the Corruptors. Oh, you gotta move out of the storms, dude. This is bad weather. Oh, shit. So much damage went in on the Corruptors, but he managed to dodge enough of them. I'm pretty sure he can just focus fire on the carriers. That's going to remove the protest element from play. But then how do they deal with the things? How do they deal with what's remaining out of Blademaster? Right now, it doesn't seem like they do. CrucialNug's a 36 army supply. His army, it just evaporated. I don't know where the fuck it went, but it's nowhere to be found. And a few Stalkers remaining is not going to be enough to cut it. However, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 24 plus mutas are being made. This is a really ballsy move to make against somebody who you know went Stargate openers and has like 4 or 5 Stargates in play. But here's the catch, right? There's so little reliable anti-air. There's anti-air, but there's so little reliable anti-air that a flock of 25 mutas can absolutely control the battlefield. Siege tanks continue to push out the Stalkers. I don't know why CrucialNug keeps trying to get involved with the fight. Like, dude, you got 6 army supply, Nug. Either give that money tonight or spend it. This is getting really bad for purple. He's getting gutted raw here. His attempts at constant harassment have not paid off. I like the idea of the mutas, but oh no, not like this. It's 1v2, not like this. GG. Nug taps out. Nug follows. Infinity and Blademaster take the game. But not the series. Remember, it's a best of 5. So there's still one more game to go. It's game number 4. The score in this best of 5 leads 2-1 for the team here on the bottom. The combination once more of
Infinity.
and his ally.
Blademaster.
Going up against the previous 2v2 champions, the Yellow Protoss.
CrucialNug.
And his ally,
Knights.
Trying Abed in the morning. Nights. I miss Community. Community is allegedly going to get picked up by Netflix or something. Not for like a new season, but just like for the show. I'm so stoked for that. I haven't had anywhere to watch it for a long time. And I'm gonna just put this out there before we get into the game. This is really cool with the gold base, by the way. Community, the episode with Professor Professorson and the conspiracy theories or whatever, that I have in no time. I've watched a million TV. I watch too much TV, and I have never seen a better episode, in my opinion, than that episode. That episode and that show, fucking best thing I've ever seen in my life, and I still think of it all the time. But I can't watch it anywhere since Yahoo went like belly up. So yeah, with the announcement that Netflix might be picking up Community, I'm so stoked, dudes. Anyways, getting back to this, we do have a gold base taken out here, very much blatant. This is going to be hard to see, even with the watchtower. You can see this. It's not going to reveal the base. Oh, it does. Oh, I thought I wouldn't get to the edge of it. Okay, so wait, they know about this base. Here's where this gets really tough for Knight. It's a cool idea having gold as Zerg, right? We see Bly do it all the time, or Pro Play, and others here and there, but this base is so far away from anywhere defensible. Reinforcing this is going to be kind of out of the question. We also have a weird proxy possibly being set up here by Nug. I don't know what the game plan for this is, though. These guys are up with some weird special tactics, and I'm excited to see what they're going to be. But right now, I'm left unconvinced. Oh, these two adepts also get past the defenses. Watch out, probes. You're about to have a really bad time. You post probes into the adepts. Rarely something you want to do. Sometimes something you have to do. Stalker's kind of messing about on the other side of the field. Nug now being pushed back by 5 Reapers. No one able to protect this gold base. This was such a weird risk to take. But I guess the gold base is turning into a proxy hatchery in a weird way, using it less for mining and more for just pumping out roaches. This is a proxy robo hidden over on this side. But the funny thing is, this robo will actually reinforce a little bit better to the Zerg player, but worse overall because it is exposed. And if at any point it gets discovered, it really shouldn't, but if it does, there's no way to defend it. Oh, I'm glad we have a Parks and Rec fan in the audience. I love Parks and Rec. April Ludgate. Biggest crush, dude. Aubrey Plaza is so fucking hot. It's unreal. And here comes the Immortal and a Nug. It is going to be matched by Infinity's Immortal. So it's Reaper Roach. Oh, excuse me. It's Reaper Stalker versus Roach Stalker Immortal. This is, I don't know how to call this. This is not a battle I've ever seen. And funny enough, the Queens get to be on the front line due to the proxy hatchery in the gold base. So you actually have some transfuses where you normally wouldn't have any transfuses. The Reaper grenades keep shuffling this army around. The Immortal's not firing on the other Immortal. CrucialNug loses his Immortal. This is falling apart. Infinity and Blademaster really put the screws to this team. Warp Prism gets sniped out of the sky. This is not looking good for our top left team, guys. Granted, that surround just turned things around quite a bit, grabbing one of the Immortals, but the Reaper grenades, I didn't think would be that impressive. They had those units juggled so long. Those Reapers were basically crowd controlling the Roaches, essentially just denying them from attacking the entire time. That was actually wild to watch. I wish there was damage meters we could look at, and I can show you just how bad the damage from those Roaches were. But whatever, that's a wishful dream for another never happening time. The Reaper count continues to stack up. 5 racks Reaper, baby. Pumping these out, you thermal styles. Well, I guess it's Blademaster styles. Either way, pushing into the middle of the map will not be easy. They don't have high ground advantage, but I think we're going to see some more of that juggling and that crowd control I mentioned just moments ago. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yo, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The episode where Frank gets obsessed with hand sanitizer and being clean and he becomes like a human slug on the floor. That's all I can think about with everybody buying all the hand sanitizer during this like whole pandemic crisis shit. And if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, count yourself lucky. It's a scene I wish I could unsee. Watching Danny DeVito covered in slime crawl across the floor naked. Ugh. All right, grenades send a lot of these stalkers flying. It's helping crowd control a lot of those. The more that you have of the Immortals firing, the better, but they're firing on the wrong kinds of units, right? Like hitting Ravagers, I guess it still works, but they're not armored units. Realistically, both these armies want to collapse on the opposing Immortals as they are the pivot points for both. And looks like with the Reapers on top of it, oh my God, this meme comes true 10 years later. GG.